Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming by for our event this afternoon. My name is Peter Illman. In case you haven't seen me enough on the big screens all through the show, because I don't know about you, but I'm sure as heck sick of them. But if you don't know me, I am Peter Illman. I am the Vice President of Exhibitions and Business Development for AMT. And we're here today to talk about a new adventure that we're embarking on with our friends from the Society of Manufacturing Engineers, SME. And you may have noticed, as you walk through the show hall, some of our theme going, "We are united." And we are united along with some of the regional events that are coming up over the next year. And we're here today to give you a picture of a new agreement that we have reached between the two parties, AMT and SME. And we're excited to give you a little bit more detail on the direction that we're going and the long-term benefit that we believe is going to be derived from it for the industry, for the exhibitors, and for the manufacturing industry as a whole. So we'd like to get started. I'd like to bring up the Chief Executive Officer of SME, Jeff Krause. Jeff?
Good afternoon. This really is an exciting time. We've got two leading manufacturing event producers partnering together. Manufacturing technology is advancing at such a rapid pace. We're the organization that bring our members and the whole manufacturing community as a whole together to keep up with that change and that quick pace. At SME, we're at a very unique intersection of manufacturing technology and workforce development. We connect people who are passionate about manufacturing, and we train the current workforce, and we inspire future generations to manufacturing careers. SME's events are a tremendous platform for the manufacturing industry. They provide that unique face-to-face and hands-on experience with technology. They inspire and connect people and propel our industry forward, uniting the providers and the users of manufacturing technology. SME and AMT provide regional venues that manufacturing professionals rely on to see the latest in technologies and create business opportunities and solutions. Together, SME and AMT make up the individuals and the companies that are the end users and the builders of the manufacturing technology. We together truly represent the industry. The 5 events that are included in our partnership are HughesTech, EastTech, SouthTech, WestTech, and MFG4. We'll continue to serve these important manufacturing centers across the United States with enhanced content on key topics like additive manufacturing, smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0, advanced materials, and automation. Manufacturing is key to economic growth and prosperity for our nation. It's events like these that are truly building the economies in these markets. They increase productivity, they drive manufacturing technology purchases, and they demonstrate what is really happening in advanced manufacturing. When SME and AMT first partnered on an events-related agreement back in 1989, the idea then was to pull together the resources of leading manufacturing organizations to provide a great forum for manufacturing practitioners to see the latest technologies in their own regions. Our goal today is essentially the same, but the manufacturing world has substantially changed. Our partnership together will first concentrate on deeply understanding and researching the industry needs, and then working together to create a new generation of events that fulfill those needs. The 2017 events will immediately benefit from our collaboration. Some of the immediate updates could include things like innovative new learning opportunities, new interactive exhibits, and other ways that attendees and exhibitors can connect and collaborate. I welcome the opportunity and am thankful for the opportunity for SME to work very closely with AMT, their members, our members, and the whole manufacturing community to transform these events and provide unmatched value and learning opportunities for industry partners throughout manufacturing and throughout the United States. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Doug Woods, President of AMT.
Thank you, Jeff. It really is a great pleasure to be here to be able to kind of share what we're doing together with SME. I first wanted to start by thanking Jeff and Debbie for the amount of time they spent working with us to figure out how to collaborate and come up with a really great solution. Because that really is what we've been trying to do, and they've been outstanding on both parties. I would also do a quick shout out, even though they're not here. I might get some credit points for this later because it's being videotaped, to thank the board of directors of AMT and SME for allowing Jeff and I and Debbie and Peter to figure out how to orchestrate this and pull it off, I think, in fairly quick time with a high level of succinctness between us. So we'd certainly like to thank them as well. Jeff did a phenomenal job of outlining all the key points, so I'm going to try not to reiterate those. He did a great job overviewing the key elements. A couple just, I guess, points from my perspective as to the importance of this and what we're hoping to gain at the end of the day. I started out as a member of SME, actually, in 1982. So I have a fairly long history with SME and have recognized SME for, unfortunately, I have to say, decades of my career as the place to go for information about the industry. So if it came to training and education, if you were looking for an event to find out a specific technology, I mean, SME was the place to go. And they continue to provide a lot of that, as well as an enormous amount of education for the industry and tied into unique shows that allows people to come see what that technology is all about and how they can get involved. At AMT, of course, we try to do as much as we can to make sure that people who are building manufacturing technology have the venue and capability to be able to show their innovations. So we're about helping our members find the technology, to leverage the technology, and to bring the technology to market. And as you can see, hopefully, if you've had any chance to tour IMTS 2016, we're reasonably good at doing that. And so when you put that combination together with those shows that you see that the SME folks have put together and combine that strength, you've got an enormous capability to change the way the industry is not only showing technology and innovation, but also helping all of the users of technology have new methods to come see that technology and learn about the technology. So our intention from these events as we continue to collaborate together is to figure out how do we actually ensure that the exhibitors have the best possible locations, venues, structures, and concepts to show the latest in technology advancements to the industry. And at the same time, ensure that the visitors regionally across the United States have easy access to learning about the things that are going to change their manufacturing facilities, driving productivity and advancing what they do in product development innovation from their perspective. So it's a really exciting time. It is all about collaboration. These are the first steps, I think, in how we change an industry together. We believe that there's a lot more to be accomplished by collaborating than competing. Manufacturers are a pretty great bunch. When you take a look at, typically our board meetings might be similar to the board meetings at SME. You get a bunch of competitors and you put them in a room and you say, hey, let's all solve problems together. And while they're in that room, they're collaborating together and figuring out how to make a better industry and how to work together. And it's exactly what you see going on between SME and AMT. We have a really good opportunity to collaborate between two great organizations that have been around for a long time working on manufacturing improvement and actually coming up with product solutions that are going to change the way we actually go to market. So at this point, I really don't need to elaborate anymore. I think you've got the basic concepts of what we're doing. What we'd like to do is use the time that's available to make sure we're addressing any questions you might have about how we're doing, what we're doing, and when we're doing it. If I got a what, where, or how, just add it in and answer those for you. So I'll have Jeff come back up in case you have a really hard question. He'll answer it, and I'll take the easy ones. Thank you very much for clapping. Shout out to her.
Doug?
Yes.
Two questions. First of all, what do you see the general structure of the exhibitors being at these regional shows, and how would you describe the mix between what SME has already been displaying and what we see here at IMTS? And then the second question is, 8 years ago you reinvented this show by bringing in industrial automation and putting that as a major part of this show. Do you see that being a third leg to what you've announced here today?
Wow, so we started out with a really hard one. He said Doug, so I'll start, but I'll let Jeff kick in as we go. So a couple things first. From the standpoint of who would be the types of people, who would come to the show, who are we envisioning being there? And you had also mentioned, similarities relative to IMTS. So let me mix those answers together, or those questions together, into one common answer. First, I can say from AMT's perspective, what we're not trying to do is create some mini or different IMTSs. IMTS is IMTS. It is what it is, just like FabTech's FabTech, Rapid's Rapid. We're concentrating on these series of 5 shows that Jeff talked about because we see the optimal opportunity to work on a regional solution that really helps kind of something we've been trying to address in the marketplace together. So initially, what you're going to see, I think that might be a little bit different from, obviously here, is when it gets to be a regional event, what we're looking to do to try to make it easy for drive-up traffic. So if you get a 200-300 mile radius, you're getting a lot of people that are going to come in and visit. We also want to have people start to feel like, I want to focus on a particular market area. So a lot of times you feel like, okay, I need to go to every single event and every single location. We try to have people pocketing technologies or industries, specifically wanting to go to an area to solve a need. So again, what we're not trying to do is just take the same things that we've been doing and go, let's redo that in an area, specifically like an IMTS. We're trying to take the best of what SME has already created in a regional event, kind of add a little bit new, different chemistry for some of the things that we can do from our members' input into how to kind of make that regionally successful for them, work on more the educational element that SME can do better than almost anybody, and see if we can then replicate that in different locations, starting with these 5, and maybe someday if it's successful and people want us in other locations, maybe we'll try some other locations.
That's right. A very important principle when IMTS finishes, what we're going to do together is really look at what is successful with the shows currently and where can we improve them. We'll continue to evolve the technologies. So as I mentioned, we'll bring in more about automation, digital manufacturing, more about smart manufacturing, et cetera. And that will involve the changes to the landscape. But we'll look at those delivery mechanisms because we're going to keep our customers in mind, both the exhibitors and the attendees. It goes hand in hand. To have a great show, we have to make sure that we're meeting the needs of both of those groups. And we're going to focus on the data and figure out exactly how we can enhance our shows going forward with the customer in mind.
SME has two additional components, one being the Education Foundation, the other being Tooling U SME. Doug mentioned that there would be an increased emphasis on the workforce development. I'm wondering if you could elaborate on that and also tell us if Tooling U SME is going to have a greater role at these regions.
Well, the Tooling U SME might have a greater role. We're going to figure that out together. I think what's really important here, Jim, with your comment is really looking at that intersection of the advanced technologies that the exhibitors bring, and it's pretty impressive. You just see that like in spades here at IMTS, right? And what happens, though, is we have to have a trained workforce, and we have to attract people to manufacturing. And I think that's part of that face-to-face where people can interact and see. You'll see throughout IMTS here, as well as throughout the shows, a couple thousand students coming through and giving them an opportunity to see what manufacturing can be. And so I think we'll do more and more opportunities for how do we not only progress with the technology roadmaps in manufacturing, but how do we bring along the workforce, train the current workforce, and inspire young people to manufacturing.
I would just add, if I could, to that, as I was mentioning in my open remarks when I opened up IMTS, this is the 10th edition of the Student Summit here at IMTS. And it'll probably be some 15,000 kids coming through. Those 15,000 kids, if only 10% of them turn out to get involved in our industry, You know, that's a lot of bright young new application engineers, robotics programmers, and materials engineers coming out of those folks we bring through. So when you look at little examples of, you know, things that are working here, when you look at the things, as you were just already pointing out, Tooling U and the other programs that SME has, there's an enormous opportunity to create a really unique thing to have happen at these regional events to get the next generation of manufacturers really excited about what we do every day. Any other questions? Okay. Then you have all the basic information. You know how to get a hold of us for more information. We appreciate very much you coming and joining us.
Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. This is Penny Brown with IMTS TV with a major announcement between SME and AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology, to produce some exciting regional manufacturing events. I'm here with Doug Woods, the president of AMT, and Jeff Kraus, the CEO and executive director of SME. So first we'll talk to Doug. From the AMT perspective, what is this partnership and what is it going to mean?
It's a fantastic opportunity for AMT and our members to be able to find a regional partner to be able to bring our technology, the innovation and technology that our members are developing, and bring it to a more regional basis. So obviously we have IMTS, which is a great event that we have here in Chicago, but a lot of our constituents that are coming to take a look at the technology we're providing sometimes will only go in a certain area to see that technology. So we want to be able to bring it right to them. And it turns out at the end of the day, SME has a series of shows that are in great locations. They've been doing it for years. And if you combine their educational talent, things that they bring with the manufacturing technology we have, put those two things together, we see a great way to get a new audience or some existing audience new information about how they can change the productivity of their companies. So we're excited to be able to do it. It's new, it's interesting, and I think we're going to continue to evolve it to an extent that it's going to take on a whole new chemistry that'll be exciting for the industry.
Exciting to see how it develops. So what do you think, Jeff?
Well, this is awesome. You know, you go back in time and our two organizations started in 1989 working together. But what we've done today is put together a new level of collaboration. As manufacturing technology just continues to advance at a very rapid pace, how we deliver that, how we deliver opportunities and forums for exhibitors to present their technologies and for attendees to see the best and find solutions, business solutions to manufacturing problems and apply those new technologies. So together with the members of both organizations, we're going to focus on how we can make a great experience with innovation for exhibitors and for attendees and just really do a great job on a regional basis with these technologies.
Very exciting. Well, stay tuned for more news as these events develop. This has been Penny Brown with IMTS TV.